welcome to Grandma B's Busy Life. I'm Brenda, and some of my favorite people call me Grandma B. On my channel, I post cooking videos, budget and discount shopping, frugal tips, and gardening and a few other things that come up in my life. If you're new here and you like those kind of videos, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any more videos. And if you are a returning viewer and you are already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. Today we're going to talk about building a 6-month pantry. I've talked on my channel before that if I closed my doors and Grandpa B and I didn't leave this house, we could live here for 6 months. Easy. We'd have all the toiletries, cleaning supplies, food that we would need for 6 months, and probably still have some left over. I didn't do this overnight. I didn't go out and spend thousands of dollars to build up my pantry. I did it a little at a time. I started off by making a list of all of the things that I use on a regular basis, and I wrote down the regular price for them. Some of them I knew, some of them I looked up on the Walmart app to find out what is a typical price for that. And then I started watching the sales. And when I saw something that I use on a regular basis that was on sale, lower than the regular price, I wrote it down. And I started to notice that sometimes the sale price isn't really better than typical price. They make it look like that because they put it in the ad, but that isn't always a great price. I also noticed that there are sales cycles, and every 3 to 6 months, things come back that were on sale before, and they come back at their rock bottom prices. And when you know those sales cycles, then you can get things at great prices. I shop very differently now. I used to go out and buy what I needed for the week and repeat that process every single week. And I would buy a huge variety, but only a few of each item every week. Now, when you look at my shopping cart, you might see 10 of one item and none of something else. And not because I'm not using all of the things, it's because I bought it at a rock bottom price and bought enough to last me until that next sale comes for that rock bottom price. For example, barbecue sauce comes on a rock bottom price twice a year, right before 4th of July and right before Labor Day. That's because that's when a lot of people are cooking out. So I buy a year's worth of barbecue sauce the end of June because it's rock bottom price for 4th of July. And then I don't buy barbecue sauce again for the year. If I only bought a couple in June because it was a great price, then come August, September, I'm going to have to buy more barbecue sauce and pay full price for the rest of the year because I'll run out. So I buy enough for 6 months to a year, depending on how long the item lasts when it becomes rock bottom prices. One more thing to think about is how much are you going to use in a year or before the item expires. I know that I don't eat spaghetti sauce every single week, but I do eat it 2 or 3 times a month. So if we go by that, and let's say 2 times a month, that tells me that I need 26 jars of spaghetti sauce every year. So when spaghetti sauce goes to a rock bottom price, then I will fill my stock back up to 26. I know how much I'm going to use. I didn't in the beginning, but I started to really pay attention to how much I'm using so that I make sure I have enough to get me by until the next rock bottom price, but not so much that I'm taking up space and it expires before I use it. So, you need to know what you buy, how much you use of it in a week, a month, a year. What's the typical price? What's a good sale price? And what's a rock bottom price? That's going to take you some time to figure out. You're going to have to write it down to keep track. Unless you have a better memory than me, I can't remember all of that. I wrote it down. I made a little spreadsheet. And it's going to be different for everybody. Your area prices may be different than mine. How much your family uses will be different than mine. But sales cycles are pretty consistent nationwide. So you'll see that things come back around. To start shopping this way, you're still going to have to buy what you need to get through the week because you're not going to have a stockpile. But what I did is I found the very cheapest items of the week and I stocked up for 2 months on those items. And for the next 2 months, I didn't have to buy those items. That's 8 shopping trips that I didn't have to buy them. And during every week, I found the cheapest stuff that I use on a regular basis, and I stocked up for a couple of months. And over time, that stockpile built and built and built. And in many things in my stockpile, I have a year's supply. But almost everything, I have a 6-month supply. So it builds up over time. But I've been doing this for a couple of years, and so it does take time. Right now I'm going to show you how I look at the ad and how I decide what I'm going to buy. And then I'll take you down to my pantry and kind of talk you through how I look at my pantry to decide if I'm going to purchase something. Even if it's at a rock bottom price, sometimes I don't buy it. And I'll talk to you about why. Let's look at the ad. So I start with my ads because I want to know what is the best deal this week. I look at these chickens, 68 cents a pound for a whole chicken. If I was low on chicken, I would get that. But I also know I can get it at my discount store for about 30 cents a pound. So I probably would not stock up on this. If I didn't have a discount store near me, I would probably buy 3 or 4 chickens to stick in the freezer. Ground beef at $1.98 a pound. Now it is the 73% lean, so it's not super lean. It's still a great price. I need ground beef, so I'll probably go buy about 10 pounds of this in 1-pound packages and stick it in my freezer. When I look at this chuck roast, $3.98 is a pretty good price, but the problem is I find it for $2.99 quite often. So I would only buy this if I really needed it. I would wait for the $2.99 sale and then buy enough to get me through 2 or 3 months. Many times at the bottom of the ad are what I call loss leaders. They are items that they're selling so cheap to get you in the store, to get you to buy stuff, and they are hoping that you'll purchase other things. This is one of those. This is a rock bottom price for tuna fish. The first time this sale came, I bought 2 and tried them to make sure I liked them before I bought a ton, because this is a brand I wasn't familiar with. This brand is actually really good, and at 48 cents it's a rock bottom price. But I bought a year's supply of this about 3 or 4 months ago, and so I still have over a 6-month supply. I know that this sale comes around more often than every 6 months. So I'm going to wait till the next sale for this because I do already have a 6-month supply. If this sale only came every 6 months or so, I may stock back up to a 1-year supply. This pastaroni and rice-a-roni I don't use, but this is a really great price. So if I used this, I would count how many I had in my stockpile, think about how many I use per week. Let's just say I use about 1 a week, and I counted and I have 10 of them. Then what I would do, if that were the case, is I would go to the store and buy 16 of these to give me 26, which is a 6-month supply. I don't know about these, but something to think about is the expiration date. If these expire in 3 months, I would not want a 6-month supply. I would want a 3-month supply. You don't want a supply that's big enough that if it did last you that long, that it would be expired by the time you got to it. That's not saving any money at all. I just wanted to show you the loss leaders for this other ad. So $2.99 for ground beef patties. Sometimes you have to decide, is the time it takes me to do something worth a little more money? If that's the case, if you're a super busy person, $2.99 a pound for the patties might be a great sale. Pringles at 99 cents, that's the lowest I ever see them, but sometimes I can get them on Ibotta or with a coupon for less. But as far as the sale price, that's a great price. When I look at this cereal, it's so tempting. I happen to have some $1 off of 2 coupons for this cereal. I have way too much cereal. I will waste money if I buy this cereal because we won't be able to get through it before it expires. So even at 50 cents a box, it's not worth my money. So when a sale meets my criteria for rock bottom prices, I come down to my pantry, and this is my dark little dungeon that is under my stairs. And for example, if I'm looking at pasta, and I know that I use about 1 box a week, and I want a 6-month supply, and the pasta's on a rock bottom price, I would come down here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I actually have 26 weeks worth of pasta. So even though pasta's on a rock bottom price, I'm not going to buy any, because I don't want to have more than 6 months worth of pasta, because it's going to expire, and I don't want to have expired food. But one thing you could also look at, I don't know if you can see on there, it says May of 22, May 25th, 2022. So that's over a year away. I actually might go buy pasta if it's such a rock bottom price that it's the lowest I ever see it. But if it's just a good sale but not rock bottom, I would not stock up at this point. So I do that with all items. So I look down here and I have 2 tomato paste and 2 tomato sauce. That's all I have left. So if I found a rock bottom price on that, I would stock up enough for a year. The key to all of this is start small. Buy what is the best value this week and buy extra. And then next week, find the best thing and then buy extra. And over time, you will build your stockpile. I did not include a pantry tour. If you'd like to see a pantry tour, just leave a message in the comment box. I would love to give you a pantry tour so you can see what I have and how I store it and what items I keep and what items I don't keep. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day and get started on your pantry. It's worth it. It brings a lot of peace of mind. I know that I have food. I have supplies. And if something were to happen, I would be okay. Have a great day. See you again soon.